Hi, this video is for anybody who would like to review the half double crochet stitch we went over in the last meeting, or for anybody who wasn't at our last meeting if you would like to learn what we went over. We covered the half double crochet, so that's what I'm going to be showing here. We did the single crochet a few weeks ago, and then we did some patterns that were related to that, and now we're going to move up to the next one. So this is the next tallest stitch. At the same time, we're going to be looking at a pattern that has just the half double crochet. That way you can learn how to read patterns at the same time. The biggest thing about reading patterns is just understanding what the abbreviations are all about. So with this pattern, you start off by chaining 27 chains loosely, and it says with rows. That's because with this book, each square has its own color, and you rearrange the color to make a certain pattern. So if you're just doing your own afghan, it doesn't matter what color you're using, but the pattern is what matters here. Alright, so just for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to chain 27 just for time. I'm just going to show you how to do the half double and explain how the pattern works, and you should be able to get the complete the square. So it starts with row 1. After you go ahead and do your slip knot and your 27 chains. If you don't remember how to do that, go back and review the slip knot and the chain video that I sent previously. And then we're going to start with row 1. It says that this is the right side. The right side, again, means that this is going to be the most attractive side. In some patterns that matters. In this particular pattern, it doesn't matter because you're doing the same stitch on both sides, back and forth, and you're turning, and so essentially both sides are going to look the same. So it really doesn't matter which one is the right side on this particular pattern, but you might see that in other patterns, and it could be very important, so just take note of that. Don't skip over that. Just have a mental note of that. Some patterns will even have you mark the right side by inserting a colorful stitch or a marker or something. So HDC, that stands for half double crochet. We're going to half double crochet in the third chain from the hook. Remember, CH means chain. And then in each chain across. So basically we're doing half double crochets in every single chain across. And that's what the first row is all about. So remember, we skipped some of the chains because of height. And so that's why we start from the third chain from the hook. So if you have done the chain 27 loosely and you do a half double crochet all the way across, you're going to have 25 half double crochets when you finish, because you skip those first 2. And I have started out with 8 chains just for demonstration purposes, and so I'm going to end up with 6 half double crochets. This is the first chain from the hook, this is the second, this is my third, so this is where I'm going to be going into. With our single crochet, we went straight into the chain and pulled up a loop. So the half double is different in that you're going to yarn over first. And you'll see all of the taller stitches start with yarn overs before you insert, so that's a little bit different. Yarn over first, insert the hook into the chain, yarn over and pull through that chain, and now you have 3 loops on your hook. Alright. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Alright, and that is our first half double crochet, and we're going to do that same thing all the way across. So here is my next chain. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over and pull that through all 3 of those loops. So that's my second half double crochet. This is my next chain here. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through that chain. I have 3 loops on the hook now. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on that hook. That is my third half double crochet. Here's my next chain. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. I have 4 half double crochets. This one is my next chain. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, have 3 loops on the hook, going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, and that will be 5 half double crochets. And I'm at my last one. I'm going to pause here for a moment just to have you take a look at what the last one looks like. Sometimes people get confused with the slip knot thing. If their slip knot is really loose, they might think that that is an additional chain. To avoid that, just push it up a little bit, tighten it up, and then it'll be a lot easier to see which one is the last one. So we see we only have one more chain here, one more loop. Alright, so I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that last chain, yarn over and pull through the chain, have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and now I have 6 half double crochets. And you can verify that. Remember, it's always a good idea to count when you're done. So I'm going to pull this up so it doesn't come out. The loop that was on the hook doesn't count, but each of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the right amount. If you did the 27 chains at the beginning, you should have 25 half double crochets when you finish. And that is the end of row 1. It says, note, loop a short piece of yarn around any stitch to mark it the last row as the right side. And so again, if the right side mattered, then that's what you would want to do. You would simply just take a contrasting piece of yarn and you can just like loop it up under any of these stitches, or you could even take a stitch marker and do the same thing. Just loop it up under any of these stitches, and that just marks that as the right side, meaning the most attractive side. Really not important in this pattern. Alright, so row 2. We're going to chain 2 and then turn. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the first half double crochet and then each half double crochet across. Easy. So 1 for 1 in every single one. You should have 25 half double crochets, or however many you started out with, at the end of each row. And you're basically just going to be repeating row 2 until you get to the 7 inches. And if you were working the full afghan, you wouldn't actually finish off. You would go ahead and work at edging, and then you sew all the pieces together. And once you work the edging, you would fasten off, and then you sew all the pieces together at the end. This is okay for any type of flat work. If you are doing a blanket, a scarf, placemat, pot holder, rug, anything that is flat, this pattern will work for. So whatever you want to make for flat work or that is square, you can go ahead, or even rectangle, anything that is squared off that has 90-degree angles, this pattern will work well for. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do row 2, and you're basically going to be repeating row 2 on every single row until you feel you are done with your project. Okay, so it says to chain 2 and turn. So 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn. Okay, and so I want to point out where the stitches are, because this is where some people mess up when they first start. They might count one of the chains as a half double, and this is the new row. So you want to make sure that you're actually going into the first half double crochet. So that would be this one right here. If I move the loops out of the way, maybe you'll be able to see it better. So if I hold it like this, you can see these two are the 2 chains that I just did, and this is my next stitch. This is my first stitch that is on my row 1. So I'm going to be doing into this chain, or into this stitch, for my first half double crochet on the second row. And this is the same for all the way across. This will be my next one. Make sure you're going up under both loops. You could theoretically go under just the front loop or just the back loop. Whatever method you do, make sure you do it consistently all the way across. If you do just one loop, whichever one you leave off is going to have, it'll show like a little line across with all the stitches that were not gone through. And it can actually make a nice decorative pattern. You just have to be consistent with it if you're only going to do one loop. In this particular pattern, we're doing under both loops. This is the standard way to do a half double crochet. This is just straight up half double crochet. How do you do the stitch? Okay. Go ahead and get back. Alright, so we've established that this is my first one. This one is the one that has the post. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. I have 3 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Looking at it from the side, this is my next one. If you're looking at it from the top, same one. It's just where that, so you know what it looks like no matter what way you're holding it. Insert your hook into that next chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay. If you're looking at it from the side, this is where I'm going to be inserting my hook. Right here. If you're looking at it from the top, it'll be right here. So yarn over first and then insert the hook into that stitch. Yarn over, pull through a full loop through that stitch. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. You're just going to keep doing that all the way across. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch. Pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, this is my next one. Yarn over, insert my hook into that stitch. Yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And let me check where we are here. I think we only have one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, so this is another part that can get confusing, because if you're looking at it this way, it almost looks like we have 2 left, when in reality we only have 1 stitch left. Remember when we did those chains and then we skipped 2 to add for the height? Sometimes if you see that the chain on the side, that can look like a stitch, but that's not a stitch. That is the chains for your height. So if you're looking at it from the side, just remember that you did this one for height, and so you just have 1 more left. Also, counting helps. Remember, we don't count this piece, because that was our chain. This was our first half double. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how many I have. So I should have 1 more to go. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that last stitch. It's a little bit harder than the other. There we go. Yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And there you have it. That's the end of row 2. And so we would keep repeating row 2 until we were done. And so we would just go back and read the pattern again. We're going to chain 2, turn, and do half double all the way across. Chain 2, turn, half double all the way across. Over and over again until it gets to however long you want it. If you're just doing a bookmark, maybe it just goes 5 or 7 inches. Maybe it's this thin still. If you're doing a blanket, you probably have a very long piece. You get the picture. So you would just chain 2 again, turn, and then start all over again. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Once you get to the end of where you want to be, if you're following this particular pattern, it does not have you fasten off. It wants you to work the edge first. But if you don't want it edging and you're done, what you would do is once you get to this point, you're going to do one chain. You'll stretch the yarn out about 6 inches, 8 inches. You want to have a 6 to 8 inch tail, and then cut it off, and then you would pull it through, and that would fasten it off. And then what you do with the tail is you weave it in. Weaving in will be a lesson that we cover later, probably closer to May or June. Alright, I hope you get to see you guys at the next meeting. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks.